Imagine for a second that you're standing on the edge of the most important moment of your entire life, a moment that's going to define everything. But here's the catch. To succeed, you first have to face and maybe even destroy the very people you love the most. It's a truly ancient problem, and it's right at the heart of one of the world's most incredible spiritual texts. I mean, really think about that. This isn't just some random thought experiment. It's a full-blown crisis of conscience that forces you to choose between love and duty, between what you feel is right personally and what you're told is a sacred obligation. So, what would you do? Well, this exact question is the explosive starting point of the Bhagavad Gita, which means the Song of God. And it's basically a conversation that happens right on a battlefield. But trust me, its lessons go way, way beyond the chaos of war. So let's set the scene. We're on this sacred plain called Kurukshetra. On one side, you've got the Pandavas, and they're fighting for a kingdom that is rightfully theirs. And on the other side, their own cousins, the Kauravas. We're talking about massive armies here, filled with grandfathers, uncles, and even beloved teachers on both sides of the line. And right into this scene walks our hero, Arjuna, who's known as the greatest archer in the world. And his guide, the guy driving his chariot, isn't just anybody. It's the Lord Krishna in disguise. Arjuna, feeling pretty confident about his cause, asks Krishna to pull the chariot right into the middle of the two armies. He wants a good, clear look at the enemy he's about to crush.
But what he sees, it just shatters him. This isn't some faceless enemy force. It's basically a family reunion on a battlefield. He sees his teachers, his grandfathers, his cousins, all of them ready to kill each other. And just like that, all that warrior confidence, it evaporates. All that's left is this deep, paralyzing grief.
Listen to his words. You can literally feel the physical horror he's going through. He's so shaken up that his famous bow, the Gandhava, just slips right out of his hand. He can't see a victory. He can't see a kingdom. All he sees is sin and sorrow rising from the ashes of his own family. And in this one moment, the hero just quits. He slumps down in his chariot, throws his weapons on the ground, and says, "I will not fight." The entire war, the fate of a whole kingdom, is suddenly hanging on this single moment of utter despair. And this is where the entire story just pivots. Krishna doesn't give Arjuna some big pep talk about glory or revenge. No. Instead, he starts to reveal a profound truth about life and death and what we really are. It all begins with a pretty startling reply to Arjuna's grief. Wow. I mean, what a shocking thing to say, right? Krishna basically tells Arjuna, your grief is based on a total misunderstanding of how things work. You're crying over something that isn't even real. The truly wise, Krishna says, they get it. They understand that the things that truly matter can never be lost or destroyed. So here's the core teaching Krishna lays out. It's all about a distinction between two realities. You have the body, which is temporary, it's perishable, but then you have the true self, the soul or the Atman, and that is eternal. It was never born and it can never die. And because of that, the soul can't kill and it can't be killed. And this has got to be one of the most beautiful metaphors in all of spiritual literature. The idea is that the soul simply changes bodies the way a person changes clothes. Death isn't some final end, it's just a transition. And when you know this, the act of fighting on that battlefield suddenly takes on a whole new meaning. Okay, so that philosophy is pretty deep. But let's not forget, Arjuna is still a warrior, sitting in a chariot, about to fight a war. He needs to know what he's supposed to do. So Krishna then lays out a way to act in the world that actually lines up with this higher truth. He calls it karma yoga, which is the yoga of action. And this is a revolutionary idea, really. The point is, you don't need to run away to a cave to find enlightenment. You can find it right here, in the middle of life's biggest messes, just by changing how you think about your own actions. So how does it work? Krishna makes it super simple. Step 1. Know your duty, your dharma. For Arjuna, being a warrior, his duty is to fight for what's right. Step 2, do that duty with everything you've got, all your skill, all your focus. But step 3, and this is the absolute key, let go of the results. You act for the sake of the action itself, not for what you hope to get out of it. And that's it. That's the solution to Arjuna's whole problem. He can be the warrior he's meant to be without getting stained by the sin of killing.
By acting without being attached to winning or losing, pleasure or pain, he turns this horrible act of war into a kind of sacred service.
And that is why, thousands of years later, we are still talking about this story. That battlefield, Kurukshetra, it's really a metaphor for the battlefield in our own minds. Arjuna's conflict is our conflict. It's that daily struggle we all have between fear and duty, between feeling confused and finding clarity. So if we boil the Gita's wisdom down, you basically get these 4 key ideas. First, your true self is the eternal soul, not this temporary body. Second, doing your duty, whatever it is, can be a sacred path. Third, you have a right to your actions, but you have no right to the results of those actions. And finally, real peace doesn't come from doing nothing. It comes from selfless action.
And all of that leaves us with one last big question that echoes through time. The Gita doesn't really hand out easy answers. Instead, it gives us a powerful way to find them for ourselves. So, when you're facing your own impossible choices, when your heart screams one thing but your duty demands another, what does it mean to act with clarity, with purpose, and without attachment?